So in honor of Mother's Day, we thought we might talk just a little bit about moms today and the things that are really important for us to remember on Mother's Day. We have this idea that biblical moms were perfect, and we have these, this idea of biblical family values, but it wasn't really like that. If you think back, Eve, the very first mother, and you recognize that that she ate the forbidden fruit, that there is pain she brings into the world, and the next story you find after that are her two sons, Cain and Abel, in a field, and Cain killing his brother Abel. And then we think about Sarah, who was the great matriarch of the faith. And here's Sarah. She wants to have a child desperately, so she hands over her maidservant to Abraham and says, sleep with her, maybe she can have a child for me. And she has a baby. She takes the baby, Ishmael. And then when finally Sarah is able to have her own child, she says to Abraham, I want you to send Ishmael away and Hagar away. And so, it's Sarah who pushes for, in essence, their divorce and then sends them out in the wilderness to die. Not exactly a picture of a perfect mom. When we think about Rebecca, who ends up having two children. Isaac marries Rebecca. Rebecca has twins, Jacob and Esau, and apparently she didn't get the memo about never telling your children that you favor one over the other. And instead she says to Jacob, you're my favorite. And this really messes with Esau. And in the end, Rebecca ends up working with Jacob to trick Esau out of his birthright. And then we come to Jacob gets married. He marries Rachel and Leah, which is in itself a challenging situation. And then Rachel and Leah begin competing over who's going to have the most number of babies. And then pretty soon they give their maidservants to Jacob to have babies with. And now you've got 13 children, 12 boys, and at least one girl. And you talk about a dysfunctional family. So these are the biblical moms. These are the pictures we have of them. No perfect mothers. I mean, even Mary, the mother of Jesus, as close to perfect as you could find. But the only story we have about her from the time when Jesus was growing up, other than the infancy narratives, is when he's 12 years old and the family has gone down to Jerusalem to be able to celebrate the Passover. And after they're there for a week, they're going back home, a 9-day journey from Jerusalem back to the Galilee. And they get one day's journey away, and Mary says to Joseph, hey, Joseph, where's the kid? And Joseph says, I don't know, he was with you. And all of a sudden you can hear the blood-curdling scream from Mary. They've left their son back in Jerusalem. Actually, it's better than that. She's misplaced the Son of God. This is Mary has misplaced Jesus. And they go back to Jerusalem. It takes 3 days to find him. Can you imagine the mom guilt she carried with her? And so what we find in Mother's Day is our need to be able to forgive our moms, our need to forgive our children, and our need to forgive ourselves. And forgiveness isn't saying that whatever happened didn't matter. It's not excusing it. It's saying I choose to let go of my right of retaliation, my right to resentment, my right to hold on. And of course, it's helped if we have a chance to actually have the person ask for forgiveness from us that we need to forgive. Sometimes that doesn't happen. Sometimes our mothers have died and there's no chance to do that. And so somewhere along the way, we learn to forgive. We learn to let go. And it might require therapy and help and lots of prayer. But at some point we say, I choose to let go of this and instead to demonstrate the grace that's been demonstrated to me. And when we begin to find that and we begin to live into that, what we find is healing in our relationships and we find hope.